No one tells you this when you say, I do. Even in a Christian marriage, even when you love God, love each other, and try to do things right, it can still feel hard. Like you're always fighting something, but you can't name the enemy. You're praying, you're trying, you're doing all the right things, and still it feels like something's off. Maybe it's the distance. Maybe it's the tension. Maybe it's the quiet disappointment that no one else knows about. And you start thinking, shouldn't this be easier if God is in it? Well, here's the truth, and it might set you free. Marriage is holy, and anything holy will be fought for. The moment that you stepped into that covenant, you became a target. Because your marriage isn't just about you. It's a reflection, a spiritual picture of Christ and the church. And the enemy hates that. That's why Christian marriages often feel like a battlefield, because they are. A marriage with purpose will always come under pressure. When two people try to build something eternal, there will be resistance. And that resistance shows up in subtle ways. Miscommunication, distance, bitterness, shame, tiny cracks that widen until they feel like a canyon. And in those moments, the enemy whispers, you married the wrong person. It's always going to be this way. You'd be happier with someone else. Starting over would be easier. Lies designed to divide, to isolate, to destroy. But here's what the word says. What God has joined together, let no one separate. Not culture, not conflict, not even your own doubt. God never promised easy, He promised presence. And that refining that's happening in your marriage is part of His process, because God doesn't just use marriage to grow your relationship. He uses it to grow you. So if it feels heavy right now, that doesn't mean you're failing. It might mean you're finally facing the things that God wants to heal. The things that you both buried, avoided, and stuffed down for years. And now they're rising to the surface, not to destroy you, but to set you free. But only if you don't run. Only if you stop blaming each other and start seeking God together. Your marriage can be strong, not perfect, but anchored, not conflict-free, but full of grace. You can fight for each other instead of with each other. You can ask God to soften your heart, to help you listen more than you speak, to help you serve more than you defend, to remind you that love is more than a feeling. It's a choice. So don't walk away just because it's hard. Hard doesn't mean broken. It means you're fighting for something real. And real things, lasting things, are always tested. If you're wondering what to do next, start here. Take your spouse's hand. Even if things aren't perfect, even if your last words weren't kind, and pray. Even if it's awkward, even if you don't know what to say. Ask God to step back into the center. Because the enemy wants you divided, but God wants you restored. So if it feels like you're constantly at war, don't mistake that for failure. It may just mean you're fighting for something that matters. The enemy wants you divided, but God wants you united, healed, restored, anchored in Him. If this message spoke to you, drop a comment. Let others know that they're not alone. You're not alone in this. Subscribe and stick around. We're walking this out together. And remember, marriage is worth the fight, not because it's easy, but because it's holy. And anything holy will be fought for. I'll see you in the next video.